How you going today, guys? My name is Kilk, and today we're joined by our Bronze 2 Jett here. In this video, we dissect his entering, his positioning, and just general map awareness. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Oh my god.
So I haven't looked at it, I just sort of loaded it up.
When there Yoro skulks like a rat, I will float above like an eagle.
So how long have you been playing again? You said you're just pretty new, aren't you, to Valorant?
Yeah, I started, I want to say probably like December 14th.
Oh, okay,
And then I play
yeah,
every
like just over a month then, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's been a month. Time flies.
Yeah, no kidding, eh?
Help.
I suppose with all the holidays and whatnot, it goes so quick.
Yeah.
So do you normally solo queue, duo, or?
Yeah, usually I solo. Every now and then I'll play with friends, but that's mostly unrated.
Yeah, okay.
One mid. Watch your mid.
I don't know if you can hear the audio, but I'm calming that they're coming mid.
Yeah, I can hear you. Cool. That's good.
Alright. Yeah, and then one technicality is that my mic did not work for the first 3 rounds, so nobody heard that.
Oh, serious?
Or on their team. Yeah. I like fixed it round 3, and I'm sure you can probably hear me fixing it.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I can hear you. I can hear you in through the hear that. I don't know if maybe it just caught your voice, but not through the game. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, it just wasn't through the game. Like, I was talking with the chamber, and then he was saying he couldn't hear me.
Yeah, okay.
66 on a Jett. She fucking trying to
Smoke me.
back.
"30 seconds left. Blocking sight.
That's unlucky. I don't think there was too much to say. I mean, your crosshair positioning was good. I thought you cleared your corners as well. You know, the stun. I like the play to smoke up because I assume you're going to push in after that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it seemed pretty standard. So not much to say there. I think your comms are good because I mean I could hear your comms. So.
Yeah, so usually what I like to do when I lose the first round, so I always go ghosts and smoke. And so whenever I lose the first round, the logic is to buy all utility, and so that way if we win the second round, or if we lose the second round, I still have utilities, so it's not like I still have all of it there for the third round, which is the buy round.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean that works well. As long as you've got enough to buy on the third round, any sort of combination doesn't matter too much. Looks like you guys are going to do quite well this round as well, hopefully.
One enemy remaining. Spike down mid.
Nice, that's a good conversion. I think your Sage went on.
Spike spotted B.
Every now and then I have the problem where I jump around too much.
I hear a lot of footsteps. They're taking orb.
That's my timings.
Oh, really?
There's at least like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's a small thing, but you know.
Oh, Viper can rotate.
Good attempt. One down. Blocking sight.
So 104. Can you guys like 3 or 4 here?
That's a little.
Oh, Viper can rotate.
Good attempt. One
That was
down.
good kill.
Blocking sight.
Perhaps, I don't know, were you going for that section or were you trying to get it a bit closer?
Yeah, I was trying to get it closer.
Yeah, so
I'm still kind of learning some of like the finer details, but the logic was that I wanted to smoke it off because there's a hole in the wall.
Yes.
It allows me to reposition.
Yeah, okay, cool, because that's what I was going to say, yeah. If you had it a bit closer, you could have easily gone off.
Yeah.
towards the left, that's fine. As it is, as you played it, let's check. Crosshair is, I suppose, at like shoulder, neck level, which isn't, it's not too bad, to be honest. Obviously, you'd always want it sort of slightly higher,
Yeah, a
but
little
as
bit
it
higher.
stands, I think it's a good, I suppose, like, because some people hold it like right on the edge, and I don't know what your ping's like, or your reaction time, but I suppose online you just can't do that. So holding it
Yeah.
out here is good.
Go 104.
Peak is
Can you guys
advantage.
rotate? Team?
Just got you, I guess.
So
After
usually I
being
prefer
guns.
to play B, but it seems
So-
like everybody wanted to play B
For
this game. So
shotguns, SMGs.
Yeah, okay. Do you AWP a lot as Jett?
I op every now and then. It's not my go-to, but like if somebody picks up an op off the ground or we have like a lot of extra money, then I'll use the op.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am a rifler background.
Yeah.
From like in Cisco,
Yeah, fair enough.
but it's something I'm learning in Valorant.
I think if you can get quite comfortable with the AWP, it's a real benefit, especially if you like playing Jett. Like, she's so busted with the AWP that it's like not even funny. So I definitely recommend like trying to, I suppose, get a bit more proficient with it if you can. And then
Yeah,
to the point where, you know, you'll be saving pretty much as you can to try and play the AWP, especially on defense, because that's where you'll really shine.
yeah,
And in like, I suppose quite like low lobbies like bronze, silver, even gold and plat, people just will dry swing everything. Like, they won't flash out. They'll just swing, and then you get an easy kill, and then reposition 4v5, and you're just in such a good spot. So that'd be like a good tip. Standing here is okay. I'd prefer it if you sort of like jiggled it though, because this is a very common pre-fire angle. So they will like ping it on their map, swing, and just shoot. And more often than not, you'll probably find, not more often than not, but quite a few times you'll probably end up just getting, you know, like one tapped before you've even had a chance to react. Your crosshair position was good. Like, it's like at his head, which is nice. I think after you miss your like second burst, I would have dashed away though.
yeah.
Because at that point, like, it doesn't matter as much anymore. Like, you've got information, you've done a bit of damage. The last thing you want to do is for him to, I suppose, get like a lucky headshot or anything, which unfortunately is what happened.
Yeah.
Jett let Rudy.
Ready.
Jett let Rudy. Aim in. Viper rotate.
Pulling them in. Concealment.
So I assume you fix your mic pretty soon.
Yeah, it was like around this round or maybe
Yeah,
next.
no, that's all good.
Get out of my way.
Hello?
Who's
Viper
next?
shuttle. Your roll. Windmill.
Enemy spotted B.
141 on
I think there's a
fucking breach,
save.
110 on your.
I got no
Last
money.
player standing.
Do you just save here?
Yeah.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
before.
5 art. Great.
Windmill.
I mean, obviously, your mic needs to work for this to work, but definitely ask your chamber to chuck a little sentry in here or a trip in there, because no one's watching this, and even ask him to chuck one in mid if he's just going to play A main, because like they could have just, because neither of you are watching this. You know what I mean? I mean, the Viper is, so it's not as bad, but if he loses it or they like smoke it and they rush through, you know, you've got like nothing slowing them or stopping them, so you're just going to get like flooded on. And Hall's Chamber's really good, I like, on this map, because you can literally just chuck something in there and then just go away. Like, you don't need to actively watch it, because then you always know if someone's coming through, or you can hear the door if they open it.
Yeah.
That's nothing really related to yourself though. So, but just I suppose it's like a comms sort of thing. You definitely don't be scared to ask for util from your team. Oh, you ended up dying.
Flawless.
Ah, that's unlucky.
Right there. Enemy spotted.
That one's dead. Enemy
Let's see how this one goes. Yeah, okay. So you just started shooting before you stopped moving. So that's why your first like few bullets went wayward. I can't. Did you
Yeah.
make a step noise? I didn't actually notice. I didn't see. I don't know if you made a step and it's like he dipped. Yeah, you did. Okay. So you probably heard you like push through doors.
Yeah.
And that's probably why he dipped. And then as soon as the thing went down, I reckon he was just like watching this. And then it went down, he dipped out, and I guess you didn't know where he was, so.
Yeah. My thought process was, since Viper had just seen him, I thought that he would be like right behind the door, so swing out faster
Yeah,
and
that's
catch
fair.
him while he was looking at Viper.
Yeah, I think if you wanted, like that play can work, but I think you'd more like
One
full
enemy
send
remaining.
it, catch him sort
Spike
of
down.
off
Defender
guard.
spawn.
Because you make noise and then you stop, so he's aware of your position, so he can
Yeah.
get somewhere safe, if you know what I
Hey
mean.
team, can you guys hear me?
And then
Yeah, so once...
Okay,
Sorry.
we know the drill.
Continue.
Stick to
yeah,
your
so
roles
then,
and we'll crush it.
Yeah, so if you just like full send him, you can sort of catch him off guard
guys,
while
can you hear
he's looking up at
Yeah.
Viper. So whether you like smoke dash or like smoke up draft onto the mid bit, so then he has to like readjust his crosshair position.
I'm
you can
gonna use knives this round.
potentially like get him
Let's
a
fly.
pretty cheap kill.
A bunch of ults.
So would you recommend that in that position? Because we had Viper Wall down mid, right? But we didn't see anybody else. So, like, the concern, obviously, is that there's, like, 3 other people there. And then they hear me updraft, they all look up, and then I just get 1v forward.
Yeah, no, there's definitely that risk. I suppose given the way you played it though, like you're sort of sitting in here, and then if there was like 3 or 4 people, you're dead regardless. So if you weren't gonna commit, I definitely wouldn't sit here and wait and like try and hunt him. Like if you didn't catch him while he was sort of close, either back off, which probably would have been not a bad play as well, or just send it. Because I suppose like you're not really in a position where you can get traded as well. So given that like you didn't know where anyone else was, I probably would have suggested falling back. Like yeah, you've gone for the quick play to try and catch him. Even if you wanted like give a little cheeky spray through as well. Spray through because they can't shoot you through there because obviously it's walled off. So send some bullets, try and get some free damage, and then just back off. You know what I mean? Like, you know, at least one's in mid, so it's not like the worst sort of play.
You want to play? Let's play.
There's 2. 2B.
Here.
One for doors.
I'll play for contact.
Here.
Oh, on site, behind us.
Spike down. B.
Nice.
Fair chamber with the op.
Well divided.
Watch Watching here.
Spike is here.
Here's Spike.
Yeah, carry your mid.
I hear him on the side of the wall.
Here.
Close.
Off your feet!
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Got your hot.
Do not fight us.
This round. Get a gun. Alright, so I was actually thinking, I was like, I bet they come through mid. So at this point, no one is watching halls, no one is watching mid. Chambers got a trap here, which is pointless because he's playing here. So I suppose ideally, I mean, you don't want to like get too bossy or anything, but if people are willing to, I suppose, listen and play around what you ask for, if you could ask Chamber to chuck a trap here, then Astra can watch mid, because I was like, you haven't seen anything here. They haven't made any noise there. So it's quite likely they just swing through this way, or even wrap around that way. But I mean, Astra does get to here before they bust onto site, so that's not so bad. What's something else I was going to say?
Spike is
You
here.
played it. You played it quite well. Oh, this part. So once the wall goes down and breach ults, there's only 2 of them left. The odds are at least, well, there's definitely one here.
Yeah.
And no one's sort of watching it like down. They're sort of only watching it across. So and so you can be seen from, I suppose, this side, I think, before the Sage can see it. I'm not too sure on that. But you're definitely in a very vulnerable position.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
Also, your crosshair's just sort of looking at the wall as well. So you definitely either want to be like looking around here, so that way you don't have to flick across.
Yeah.
Seconds left.
Yeah. So he can see you before Sage can.
30 seconds left.
Check the map. You get shot before Sage can even see it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're just very exposed here. I suppose a good sort of positioning point is like, you only ever want to be able to get shot from one direction if you can help it. So sort of like where the Viper's playing is good because he can only get shot from tunnels. Sage, I mean, you could argue you get shot from either side, but because you're here, he knows that he's safe from this angle as well. Yeah,
One
good
enemy
escape.
remaining.
And then
Got your
it's a
hot.
good round.
Do not fight.
Good 2K
Alright, that was a
from
great
yourself.
round.
So kind of like what you were talking about, is asking people to play spots.
Sorry, say it again. Like ask them to play spots, or
Yeah. So like we're stacking like 3A. Nobody's watching Hall. Well, we have Viper kind of watching mid. And
yeah,
so
you don't have to necessarily like tell them, because depending on who you play with, solo queue can be so like random. Like some people are more than willing to listen. Other people just get shitty at you as soon as you start trying to like, organize them. You could either just say stuff like care halls, no one's watching it, care mid, like no one's watching it. And that might just prompt someone to go in and take it upon themselves to watch it themselves. But I mean, if you've let them know that no one's there and then they get wrapped from there, they can't get really angry at anyone else. I suppose it's like I don't want to say it's like manipulation of people, but just trying to communicate with people to the point where they don't get shitty at you, because like I said, solo queue can just be a shit show of people. But yeah, or literally just asking Chamber to chuck a trap in halls, because then no one has to watch it.
Breach. Breach ability.
Enemy spotted. A.
Nice.
God, dude. Fucking nerd. One more B.
Spike
We
down.
got Spike. We got
B.
Spike.
This is a
Asher just
dreadful
stop
start.
this off.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really bad.
Oops.
Mid.
Nice.
Let me heal you, Jett. What up?
Healing you.
Where's Spike? Come on.
Spike's here.
Spike's been main. Being a little rat.
One enemy remaining. 30 seconds left.
Oh, she's top mid. She's top mid. Nice, good run.
Yeah, that was a good round.
She's top mid.
I don't think I had much to say. I just wanted to quickly.
Just smoke this off.
Oh, okay, you did see him in tunnels then. Did you
Actually,
see it on
just,
your map?
smoke this off.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oops.
Nice. That's perfect crossfire as well with the Viper, so that's really well played. And yeah, the rest was pretty good.
I have extra money. No need of the fucking gun, dude. 1900. This. No, I mean, that's fine, dude. Fucking ghost recon out over here.
Who's next?
Teaming clear.
Three.
I'm rotating.
Many enemies A.
There are situations where like you're holding a site and they're not pushing it. Would you ever go for that orb?
Yeah, sometimes, depending on how fast
Orb is clear.
you think they're going to bust out. Sometimes I do like going for the orb, especially if you're probably going to lose the round anyway.
Spike planted.
What's the fucking under?
Nice.
Really surprised I didn't initially check on top of the sage
going
wall.
around through
Usually
Yeah.
I'm pretty good about that.
Especially once you heard him updraft.
Yeah.
Last player standing.
Updraft and land on it, then yeah, definitely. But I mean, you got the
But
kill.
usually I check it initially. 'cause-
Yeah,
You're
nice
up.
shot.
One enemy remaining.
3.
Can you pick up that prime? If you go back for it, I can get you a. I have Spectrum Phantom. Music one.
I
Gotta
call
get
it
this
Italy
team.
because it means
Um,
my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I think from what you had, I think it was alright.
Chamber.
Whereas you rotated,
Chamber.
because on the map you can see that it's walled off, I probably would have just gone through Nest to
Yeah.
try and actually get onto site. But yeah, because you were walled off, it was kind of very awkward, forcing you to go around this way.
Mhm.
So I just realized your map's static, always.
Doors is clear. I gave it a chamber.
Chamber.
You walked
Yeah,
in
I'm a
front
big
of
fan
it.
of static map
Chamber.
because it's really easy to get like disoriented in this game, especially since I don't like. I haven't like memorized it. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. I think I still have to like look.
Yeah, static map's good.
You wanna
Static
spin
map can
it,
work.
I can buy you.
I've just gotten used to it rotating
I don't care
around
about,
with me, so
I don't care about skins.
nice.
Two.
Well played.
Omen chamber. Yoru as well.
Enemy spotted mid.
That's
Enemy
Spike.
spotted.
Spike down mid.
There's 3 mid. They said Omen was.
He was. I tagged him.
He was all the way out mid. So was Jett.
One top mid, Jett top mid. Rush your CT.
Last player standing. Last player standing.
Let me slow it down. I think you were still running as you shot your first bullet. It's good you're checking. Your crosshair's position is good.
Last
pretty
player
close. I think it's fine.
standing.
Your crosshair position was pretty good. You just sort of got that very awkward timing where you had to cross this wall before you got there.
Yeah, almost like 40.
I hate to say it, but
Standing.
I don't know what
Spike
you can
down
do
mid.
Chamber?
I have
They shoved that and they all died mid.
Yeah, I don't know why.
a spike.
He died there and then he died there. Omen must have like teleported from here. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them like wrapping through here. Maybe one of them could have gone this way. I'm not sure.
Down mid.
But as far as you played it,
They said
I think you played it alright. In like tight situations like this, when they haven't seen you for a while, sometimes running can be bad because then they know for sure where you are. Whereas because it's smoked off, they know roughly, have like some idea that you were here. You know, if you're not running, then they don't actually know where you are now, if that makes sense. So even like just playing quiet until you get more contact or anything like that. And then because you don't know where they are as well, I'd probably be more inclined to stay onto site because in case they want to like double fake you or something, pretend they're rotating and then actually come B, which is a very popular strat at the moment. It's very easy to counter. But if both of you just stay on B, and then once the spike gets planted, you can worry about moving across. Because yeah, unfortunately, you just got hard time.
Last player standing.
Yeah, almost like 40.
what's the
Not have you. One shot at me. Can we rotate?
We're here.
enemy down?
On me.
Breach just push up B main.
One enemy remaining.
Do we know what? B main. Play the cross.
Last
Play
player
cross.
standing.
There you are, mate.
Nice. Good crossfire. Play the cross.
No, I think you did well. I think you did well on the bridge.
Main.
You were in a position where you could hide, and your crosshair positioning looked pretty decent as well. Chest level, so it's not. Could be a little bit higher, but you know it's not like at his legs or anything. So, and if you can play for the recoil, then it's not awful. Obviously, you just kind of want to get the one taps to be safe because you got a really good timing on him, which was good. I don't know what he was doing this wide.
One enemy remaining.
Play the cross.
Last
Play
player
cross.
standing.
There you are, mate.
And then, yeah,
Nice. Good crossfire.
good push, given that he was reloading as
Oh,
well.
fucking crossfire.
Can someone get day for
You got
Here,
me.
here. Let me just give you mine.
Alright. Well, no, it's last round. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm using knives.
Yeah. So is our chamber.
Keep up. What's this?
Who's next?
You fought well. Here.
Spike planted.
Rotating.
One enemy remaining.
God, you guys are fucking
Corey,
hot.
need help.
I'm coming.
That's one side bow. Backside.
What up?
Got him.
Good stuff.
Here.
Alright,
Alarm.
attacking side.
Chamber. Spin. Drop it. Make a low quick.
Here.
Well, I think in the second round
Oh,
there was like
right.
a situation where I was kind of like basically useless the entire round because I think I was holding A site and then all of the action happened B. By the time I got there, like the round was more or less already over. Is that just like a thing that's going to happen every now and then, or are there ways where I can kind of improve that
As in like your
effectiveness?
second attacking round.
No. So in like the defending round, right? So I was holding somewhere on A, and then just kind of generally, it's like I feel like sometimes while I'm rotating, and then the round kind of just plays itself. By the time that I get there, everything's over. Either like their team wins or our team wins, or is in like a very favorable position. Are there ways that I could make that less frequent?
To be honest, that will happen fairly often. Oh, not fairly often. It will happen from time to time where, they just like run onto site. You're on the other side, like literal other side of the map, and you're coming, and then by the time you even get there, you're the last one alive, and it's like a 1v4. I don't think, because you can't, the last thing you want to do is as soon as someone has contact is just leave, because then you're just going to leave like sites open or positions not checked, and if they're just defaulting, you're pretty much just giving them heaps of map control and a free site, more or less, or your buddy is going to get killed by like a 2v1, and then you end up having to run back and retake B. Situations where, the round is just sort of over before you can even do anything does happen. Can you lessen it? Don't know, because it's very dependent on, your team or their team. Like if they rush and your team cleans it all up before you even turn around, what can you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I mean, having good comms will reduce it between yourself and the rest of your team as well. Because if they say, yep, 5 A main, then you can just run over straight away because you don't need to watch it. But if there's only like 1 or 2, and they're telling you there's only 1 or 2, definitely don't full rotate yet. Because I think that'll cost you more rounds in the long run than it will save you by fast rotating. And then also, if they're paying attention and they know you fast rotate, then they can easily just send like 3 people up here, up A main, and then have 2 playing here, listen for the rotate, and then just execute site. And then they'll back off as well, you know what I mean? So definitely, I suppose comms will reduce it more to answer your question than anything else, I reckon.
Makes sense.
Already dropped for wall. I'm walking out. Get flash one.
Right there. Enemy spotted. Blocking sight. Film it.
Barrier created.
Alright, we're in. I'm reloading. Oh, one back. We're in.
So here, I don't know if you can hear it off mine.
Blocking sight. Film it.
Yeah, you're teleported.
Yeah, you can hear his teleport is behind you.
We're in.
Is it a constant noise? I mean, I haven't played against. I haven't played that many Yorus in competitive because it's not a frequent or very good pick.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So if you're within like a certain distance of it, I don't know the actual radius, but you hear it's like whispering sort of thing. I don't know if you can hear it off my computer. I won't talk. And then you can see if you can hear it.
Barrier created.
Alright, we're in.
Could you hear it at all?
I could hear the teleport noise, but I think the game audio is kind of quiet on my end. So
Yeah, okay. Maybe rewatch your VOD at this point or something, and you'll be able to hear it. And then, yeah, once he teleports, I suppose instantly turn around, because you're semi-safe, because no one was here, so you should be semi-safe there.
I'm reloading.
And yeah, you just get
One backside. Yeah, teleported. Nice.
So in such like a long range map like this, after you lose the first round and you're saving, what is like the go-to? Because usually I just like try to find a close angle to play, and then try to like cheese someone for a kill.
Yeah. Given that half your team forced, I would have recommended forcing. My sort of rule of thumb, the way I like to do it is if I'm attacking, if we get the bomb down and we lose, I will always pitch the force. Because the second round is where your money is at its closest usually. So I think I'll see if you can open up tab.
Oh,
Oh. So I don't think this guy's bought anything yet. So 2,700 versus around your 3,000s. You know, the difference is only like 600-ish credits. So they'll have full armor and a Spectre. You'll have light armor and a Spectre usually, and a bit less util. I personally really like the force second round if you have the bomb plant. And to answer your question, I suppose what the play is, because you've only got Spectres and stuff, you kind of want to take close angles. So you don't want to play up halls. You don't want to really play A main unless you're just going to like bust in real quick. But even then it can be awkward. So I probably would have suggested forcing and going B. So then you can play like these tighter angles up elbow and through tunnels. You know, the range isn't as long. And then hopefully you can get onto site and then hold it from there. If that sort of makes sense and answers your question.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's case by case basis. Depends on your team as well. So,
I got the spike.
but I definitely recommend doing what your team does at the very least. So if they buy, even if you're against it, you should still buy, because otherwise your money's going to be wonky as.
I'm gonna go grab that chamber's gun.
My ult spike drop.
I'm grabbing the chamber's gun.
Opponent killed.
One enemy remaining.
last one's on me.
Alright, just play. Oh, fuck, I don't have the bomb.
Is the date one good?
Day one's the best.
Don't open one. You can just play the bomb.
Obscuring vision.
He's got a Spectre. He's up, probably come bridge.
Yeah, you just drop.
Enemies right there.
He's dinged.
He's tagged, he's tagged. You guys are hot. He's tagged.
Right there.
Given that he was dinged, he probably didn't need to reload. I don't know how comfortable you
He's
are
tagged, he's tagged.
with only 5 bullets, but he probably only would have had like 50 health or so. And then you can just like swing him. But I mean, as it was played, it's fine because he tried to isolate you and then just got angled against with the rest of your team. So
Look at
that's
me.
fine as well.
I know that I am by your side.
Good round though. I suppose that's like the power of the force.
We got a
you know
bunch
what
of
I mean?
short
Like,
range guns. You guys want to do like a mid to
chamber forced and then ended up
Yeah, we could go
allowing
with
you to
that.
get
Or-
that gun
yeah, like
and then
that.
Go
just
mid.
opens it up
Try
from
to
there.
kill if there's like, I'll probably lurk.
Yeah, kind of like what you were
There's
talking about.
ability there.
Yeah, I found that a lot of like lower rank round twos get lost even though people force, just because people play poorly.
Yes, for sure. I suppose like a good rule of thumb is if you've got gun advantage, you want to be playing longer angles and like longer distances. So I think that's why it's so good on round 2 to force, because you've got equal guns. So it's not like you're versing vandals or anything. So your distance advantage is nullified. The only real difference is a little bit of utility and maybe like 25 armor. So that's why the force second round can be really good. But I mean, I suppose to like expand on that, if no one died in the first round or something like that, you didn't really do much damage to their armor, etc., then it's less likely you would force if you're on defense or something. Or if you're on defense and they plant and win, then your money's even bigger deficit, so I wouldn't force then, if that kind of makes sense. So I know I'm throwing a lot of like contradictions, but it is kind of case by
it makes
case basis.
Yeah.
We can do that.
What?
Recording?
Yeah.
60, bro. My fucking bloom is horrible.
Yeah, so kind of like what you were talking about, since we're at a gun disadvantage, we wanted to be playing those
Just mid.
closer
What's on
angles.
You shouldn't be at a too big of a gun disadvantage because they bought up the second round and lost.
They didn't fully buy, and I think that's I think in lower elos people like don't buy together, kind of like what you saw on our team.
Yeah.
And so like Jett has a Spectre, or Jett has a Phantom, and she killed the Sage earlier, and so we were expecting the full guns on more people than not.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, this game is so economy based as well. Like, outside of just shooting, it's really economy.
Yeah.
And I'm going to assume that because they forced this round, I mean, hypothetically, if they were to lose it, you're probably going to win the next round as well.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. So that's just sort of my gut feeling as how
That
this
was
is
mid-doors.
playing out. Good kill on the Omen here, by the way.
I need to look at.
Thank you.
Is there Sam
I'm watching doors.
Alright, so one thing I will say now as well is because, I guess because you don't know their full buy, but in general situations, if they're ecoing, it's a 4v3, you sort of want to be with your team at this point. Like, you don't want to lurk too much, because if you get picked and give them a gun, then it can be really detrimental.
Yeah.
Also, now, for whatever reason, if they are all three coming out here, it's an equal game of 3v3. So you don't have that player advantage that you should have. If you wanted to sort of lurk, I'd probably more recommend around here. So that way, if they do bust out, you're very close.
Yeah.
But if they push in now with like Yoru and breach flashes, you're not really in a position to help quickly.
Yeah.
For pepper.
Oh fuck, Jett pushed all the way out.
I tried to be next to her.
She was like there.
I don't know why they would cook it.
One wall. Breach was wall.
Toxin screen down.
Breach used one flash.
One enemy remaining.
No, would not think so. Yeah.
Nice round.
But it's too expensive, so you never buy
Alright,
it.
so I reckon their money's
Forcing
going to
draw me that
be
Spectre.
really scuffed. And yeah, look, like, Breach is a full buy. Chambers got, I mean, it's pretty scuffed buy. Jett has knives, so it's not the worst thing, but like these two guys, they can't buy anything. So this should be a good economic
You want a
snowball
Phantom
for you if you manage to get this round out.
Well,
Continue to
you guys want to run the same strat we did first round?
Slow though.
Yeah.
enemy
Nice. And this is, I suppose, sorry to like keep jumping around. This is like the importance of like good crosshair placement. It's like right at his head. It's an easy adjustment. And
Enemy
you just
kill.
get a kill. Pega's advantage, so. That, mate.
Can we get the wall up? One's bridge.
I play with a little bit of lag every now and then.
Okay.
Breach is on site. Breach is flash pyramid.
Concealment. Pulling them in.
Nice
Got
one.
him.
One's behind pyramid. Last guy's behind boxes.
One enemy remaining.
Good round.
Here.
Nice. Marshall.
Even with numbers. Anything.
So they're still not really buying together either. So I mean, they've got a bit of better money, but he's not going to have full util. Chamber has his deagles, so it's hard to say. Omen won't have full util. Yoru won't, but he might just ult and shorty. And then Jett still has knives. I don't know why I didn't use them last round.
And Yoru won't force stuff if he needs to fight. Flash.
Clean. Look at that. 2 1-taps. Or 1 bullet burst.
I also have extra money if anybody needs something.
How you buy your cloud burst. That's unfortunate.
Who's next?
Sure, your ult.
I was aiming for it and I didn't realize.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it's happened to me as well.
Bro, you lucky sound like Gov.
There's one with the marshal that was shooting. B.
Off your feet!
Many enemies mid. I'm punished. Get out of my way! Our spike carrier is killed.
Last player standing.
So once you see, I don't understand why they didn't call it, but like you can see here, there's like 4 out already. So you kind of want to start just blitzing it on here and helping them out in tunnels. So you would have had like a good angle, and Asher does really well to get 2.
Get out of my
After
way!
they clear you, they know no one else is here, so you're probably on site, which is why I guess Jett swings.
Spike carrier is killed.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
That's unlucky.
Team Ace.
So in that situation, I don't think that we ever saw the 5th. Because I know we saw Yoru, Omen, Jett, and
Breach.
how many did we see?
So you know Breach is definitely there because he ults. Also he got the first kill. And this is pretty... I mean, I suppose you're not paying like full attention to your mini-map. So there's at least 4 here, and you know Chamber's there. You saw Chamber at the very beginning. So all 5 were there.
Yeah. I think I saw this when he ulted, and so I was worried about 1 being backside.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's fair. I suppose even still, you kind of want to...
Yeah.
Maybe...
My issue is, so in this situation, I think there's a lot of benefit to kind of blitzing, and I recognize that, but like if there's nobody there to trade me, is it still like a good idea?
I suppose it can and it can't be. I guess it's like what is a higher percentage of play. If someone is like hiding here, I mean, you could always like, hypothetically, if you had your cloud burst, dash and look left or something, and then swing out and look right. That'll clear like most of this section of where they would play. And then Chamber's not really in a good position to trade you, but if you sort of like get to around here, no one can swing you from here because Chamber's watching it. And then that allows you like free, I suppose, access through tunnels. Obviously, yeah, you do have to worry about someone else being around, but I suppose either come through here to help your team or get through here to help your team. Because otherwise they're just going to overrun them, which I suppose is what they do. I can't believe Yash gets through there.
Get out of my way! Our spike carrier is killed.
Last player standing. Spike down B. Team.
I'm gonna op this run.
I'm gonna wall and we can get a plant.
Actually, I probably can't op for the entry.
No, op, and then, like, because we can just get a rush by it.
Oh, actually, yeah, I have knives. I can look long, and then when we need to entry, I can just use knives.
Yeah, nice.
No, don't entry, just... We should get a rush by here with the Astral Wall.
Well divided!
Yeah, this is a free plant.
Wall raised. Plant the spike. What's
Okay,
this?
hold us.
Enemy A.
1 pyramid.
I have them.
Oh, 1 pyramid, 1 stairs. Yoru's lit 117.
Okay.
One's pyramid and then one was stairs.
One enemy remaining.
Nice, you guys are fucking hot.
Nice round. If you wanted to cloudburst, if you wanted to updraft, I definitely recommend just like cloudbursting this. Unless you're doing it for like information or something, but that's very.
Yeah.
If someone
Trying
was
to do
like
it for
here
information.
or stairs, you're pretty much a sitting duck.
Yeah.
Oh, one pyramid, one stair.
You want to play? Let's play.
Careful there, chamber.
Play.
Careful there, chamber.
So yeah, a bit high. Because I suppose at this point they have to drop because this is quite elevated.
Yeah.
I suppose they could be sitting up here, so it's not awful. I think it is more likely that they'd be more down, so that's fine. After your initial burst fails, just dip.
Yeah.
Don't just sit there and commit the duel.
Jet mid doors.
Yours is
one
quite
time.
instant. Well, yours is an instant getaway, so
You guys don't
that's
have
such a
force.
good ability to have.
Breach on site.
I set the punishment.
That's a great win. That's a
I thought
great
that was the only way that this game.
In we go.
I'm looking to push a hall.
They are so dead.
Nailed it.
Nice.
Weapon here.
Let's show some market. Jet also there.
Barrier created.
Watch your flank, watch your flank.
Chamber, give me spike.
Yo, watch your flank, watch your flank.
Behind
Trip one
you.
off, trip one off.
Give me spike.
Be fast.
Hold on.
Jett's under bridge.
You can plant.
Plant this fight.
Okay, mid door.
Enemy remaining.
Last one under bridge, 70.
Oh, fuck.
No, you can just see him. He sort of blends in with the background, doesn't he?
My bad.
I had no idea where I was getting shot from.
Last player standing.
Oh no. You played this round really well though, I reckon. One thing I will say is just here, instead of just like walk swinging, and this is kind of in general as well, instead of just like walk swinging, just give it like the little pop back and forth. That way if they are AWPing, you know, they might miss you, then you get the information and you don't need to aggress it or anything like that. Because like, when you're walk swinging, you're just so slow and it's so easy to kill. But otherwise, and that guy did an example of what I was trying to say before, where he missed his initial spray burst and then he just dipped out.
Yeah.
Chamber, give me spike.
And then yeah.
Yo,
really well
watch your
done
flank,
on
watch your
the,
flank. Trip one off, trip one off.
Give me spike.
Awareness of your trip. Off your trip.
Be faster.
Nah. This is a rough fucking game, dude. Breach is close, he used his ability.
Rest. You lose.
Blocking sight.
Right there. Enemy spotted. Mid.
There's one pushing up on you.
Backside clear. Back up B is clear.
Jett's mid. Omen's hall. Neither one up B's clear.
Get out of my way.
Just play pup.
One enemy remaining.
Last one's hit 40. He was hall.
Might be flanking.
Spike planted.
Yes, no figures. I hear footsteps. I hear footsteps. He's top mid. He just sent out an orb.
They might be fade.
Last player standing.
So his orb,
They might be fake.
his orb still travels even though you can't see it.
Yeah, I noticed that when I died. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I'm gonna leave my crosshair right here. He's gonna get the kill. He's gonna teleport.
Yeah, that would have been like if you were just like watching there, that would have been sick. And then as soon as you look away, he teleports, which is quite unlucky.
Who's next?
I assume you Astral
There's win.
Good job, team.
Need one
One
of
thing
these.
here is you're running here, so they know you're coming,
Out of my way.
and then you walk, and then you walk swing it. So if you're running, they're probably going to be watching it, and then as you walk swing it, you're just pretty much a sitting duck again.
Just play pup.
One enemy remaining.
That was good. I'm glad you didn't like commit the spray or anything. So just being able to constantly burst and slightly maneuver is really powerful, especially in this game, I reckon. Because I've got like a lot of counter strike. I love just going for the crouch burst, or the crouch spray rather, and it's just so bad.
Yeah.
Watch
me pull crab walk in death matches.
But yeah. But no, I think you did really well. Oh, actually, what I did want to say as well is when your entry, like obviously you know that.
Yeah.
That needs to be a little bit cleaner. But
yeah,
as you dashed across, like having a look left is really good. Either look left or right is really good. So well done on that, because then you instantly know, yeah, that's more or less free.
Yeah.
And then ideally you'd obviously end up in the cloud burst, and then you can sort of check this corner, because you didn't check behind you at all. I don't know if you knew there was no one there or you forgot.
There's one pushing up.
Or knew where everyone else was, then yeah, that's fine.
Backside clear. Backup B is clear.
Yeah, I think I figured if somebody was there, I probably would have died already. So chances are they'd probably don't be there.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's fair. I suppose that's just like good habits to definitely have a look behind you, because that spot is very open. I mean, that's the joy of Jett, is you can dash into your cloud burst and then you're not as, I suppose, exposed. The joy of the entry is you'll probably die first. But yeah, otherwise, I reckon you played it quite well, to be honest. Obviously, there's like a couple little things, but definitely better than Bronze 2, I would have thought. But yeah, no, like I said, I definitely reckon you play quite well. So I don't think Bronze 2 will have you for very long if you keep playing like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
So if you could criticize me as like a diamond player, like what else? What else is there?
Obviously, yeah, you're peaking, like, I'll start with what's good. Like, your crosshair positioning is pretty decent. I suppose being more, as you're walking around, I noticed it a couple times. I didn't mention it too much. As you're walking around, definitely try and keep it on like the outside angles, because sometimes as you're like maneuvering, your crosshair will sort of like drift in a little bit, which is only good. You only sort of want to be looking at a wall if, like, for example, if you're playing behind this wall here, you'll keep your crosshair at the wall and like left, right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're like clearing corners and stuff, you definitely want to make sure it's on the part where they can push you from, or part where they can swing from. That way it's just closer, and like, instead of having to flick from here, you know, you only have to go from there. So it's like a massive difference. When you're in trouble, I noticed it once on defense, may have been this round.
Breachability.
I don't know if this is the round where you saw a couple people.
God, dude. Fucking nerd. One more B?
So when you're in trouble, definitely don't be afraid to use like your cloud bursts to move, get out of, I suppose, this spot. So being able to like maneuver or play a different spot is really good, because they know you're here. So if you can like cloud burst to your left a little bit and like dip out, you know, you could be then playing from, I'm too used to rotating map. If you cloud burst like here, you can like dip out to there, or, you know, you could be back here. So just so they never really know where you are. Because at the moment he would have just been like, yep, Jett's pillar tagged 80. You know what I mean? and then they know
Yeah.
you're still there because you haven't done anything and you're just sitting there. I suppose like better players will start using util to clear you more. Like they'll be opening with util and stuff like that rather than just breach sitting here and taking an aim duel with you. And I guess on attack, I suppose if you want to be quite critical, is when you cloudburst, definitely like push in with it rather than. So like for example, don't be afraid to just cloudburst like this corner and dash in, because that causes like panic. Assuming this is like round start. I mean, it's only a 2v5 at the time or 2v4 at the time, but as like a general rule, like throw your cloudburst, dash in, while looking at like a corner to clear it for your team. Just more of that, I suppose, because you are the main entry as well. And then, you know, tell them to follow you up or stuff like that. Trade you out. I think a couple of times you...
Right there.
Like, for example, like, dashing up. Like, you throw your cloudburst, which is good. But then clearing the space quickly is also important, because you want to take as much of it as you can and cause them to, I suppose, like fall back or whatever, like get out of their position, because obviously you're coming in and you're going to get traded if your team's following you. So that was, I suppose, more or less the only things I sort of had in mind that I like picked up but didn't emphasize. I suppose there's like a lot to unpack here, so hopefully it helped.
Yeah, I think it was definitely really helpful. I think a lot of just generally decision making, and then aim is getting there.
Yeah, your aim's good. I'd say it's better than Bronze 2, to be honest. So take that how you will.
Yeah. How do you deal with so I guess this is kind of like a general game question and kind of a psychology question.
Yeah.
How do you deal with like the ranked anxiety, especially when you get into like the higher ranks?
So I used to get really bad ladder anxiety, especially when I played StarCraft back in high school. That was probably where I felt it the most. I suppose playing a lot, it definitely helps. And I suppose the mindset I sort of took in was I am exactly where I deserve to be. So, you know, if I deserve to rank up from bronze to silver, I will eventually. If I don't, well then, you know, I deserve to be in bronze. So you just got to play more and just understand that your rank will take care of itself. Like when I played golf, you know, obviously I always wanted a low handicap because it indicated you're a better player. And for a long time I was obsessive over it. And then I just had to admit that, you know, the handicap will take care of itself. You just got to focus on your process, you know, doing the right things at the right time. And then your rank, or in my case, the handicap improved without really doing anything different. Or, well, I mean, I stopped focusing on it, which is a big thing. But just being not scared to play, not scared to lose, I suppose is probably the bigger thing. Like you will lose and you'll lose quite often. And sometimes you'll go on like pretty bad loss streaks. But at the end of the day, in the long run, over like 100 games, it'll just sort of even out. You know, I've gone on like massive win streaks of like 10 in a row, and then I've lost like 13 in a row. You know, it happens. So, but you'll improve all the time. And as long as you're willing to improve and you're happy that you're improving, then the rank will take care of itself. And I suppose that's where the anxiety disappears at the same time as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
because I know especially, I think it was probably the worst in. It's kind of bad for me in like TFT. Not as much this game, because for this game I'm like really focused on learning. But definitely in Hearthstone, when I got like super high, like top 200, I was very like, oh my god, I have like this legendary 99% win rate this season. I can't lose it.
Yeah, so that's the thing. You start focusing on like the results rather than your process of playing correctly. And I think that's where you start, well, for me anyway, it's where I started coming undone, and then, you know, I'd play worse, and then I'd get more anxious about my score or my rank, and then I play even more worse. I'll play, worse again. It's just like a spiral. So as long as you're willing to accept defeat, accept failure, I think that's where you would learn the most.
Yeah. So I know we're a little bit past like the hour, and so kind of to like wrap up, what are like the 3 key takeaways that you think I could be improving on?
From what I saw here, probably your entry. I do like the Jett sort of entry. Given you're the only entry, I think that was your team is very good at getting picks though, so yourself included. So that really helped. But in other games, you'll find it'd be quite hard if you're not already on site. So definitely like dashing on more will probably help you the most. Next, I reckon your game awareness. So like when to move and where people are looking. I suppose this also comes into positioning as like the third thing, but like sort of having an idea of the map. So if no one's watching like halls, for example, just being aware that halls, they could be there, or mid, they could be there as well. So for example, if no one's watching mid and you're sort of playing here on B site, watching there for whatever reason, you know, you getting shot from tunnels is a real problem. So being in like a position where, let's say you don't have anyone watching mid, but if you're playing back here, you know, you're not a threat, or they are not a threat to you, just you like getting picked off straight away. So more map awareness, I think, of where they could be. And that comes with like, learning and stuff, and like people's utilities and stuff, which is why I kept saying like tell Chamber to put something there, so then you don't need to watch it. And then as soon as it trips off, you know that, all right, someone's there. And if it doesn't ever go off, then, you know, you never have to worry about it. And then, just positioning, I suppose, like making sure you're isolating angles where you can only get shot from one side. Sometimes it's hard, especially in like the fray, but for like entering and stuff, like you want to entry into a spot where you can only get shot from one angle. Like, let's say you dash onto here. If you like look right or something as you dash, and then you're sort of in this spot, you know, you can't get shot from anywhere else, which is good, except for like this angle. I mean, obviously you're OTP behind you, but that's a very niche case. So I suppose,
then one...
Oh, yeah, you go on.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask another question, but if you wanted to finish your thought.
Oh, it was just small, I suppose, the 3 things, I suppose, would be the entry, the map awareness, and the positioning of isolating angles. Yeah.
And then one kind of question that doesn't really show up in this game as much, but I think I played a game the day after that I didn't record. It was, we were playing against a Neon, and I think this is really prevalent since Neon's come out, where she like early pushed while we were on attack. The enemy Neon pushed us every single round, and every single round, like 1 or 2 people would die to our Neon. And so like kind of maybe not as like a individual, but maybe on like a team level, how would we stop like early aggression against somebody that can like shoot better than an individual player?
Yeah, so that's where I suppose utility comes, and that's where I find it really like, that's why like Smurfs really dominate low elo, because low elo, they just don't use utility to like clear. So if you've got like flashes and stuff, so let's say for example, you're playing on this map and Neon likes to push B main or A main. People might think it's a waste, but honestly, like if you can like sky flash here or something like that instantly, and if he's not there, then Sky will tell you he's not there, and if she is there, then you know you would hear it. And then if they're flashed, they can't push at all, and it forces them back. I guess also being in a position to trade. So like if you're defaulting, go in pairs or goes like a 2 and a 3 or something like that. So if Neon does push, you know, you can be there to trade. So at most she should only get 1. But But yeah, otherwise utility and trading is, I suppose, the best way to combat like aggression or even just better aim duelers than yourself or the rest of the team.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
That's all right. Anyway, I should wrap this up because I've got another guy in like another 10 minutes. So.
All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate all of the advice and all of the critique that you've given me.
Yeah, no sweat. And yeah, if you've got any questions, definitely just hit us up on Discord. Or if you want like more VOD reviews, I've put my actual VOD on my status in Discord, so you can find it there.
All right.
Yeah, also like we can also organize like another coaching session as well, like in a couple of weeks or something. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I'm always trying to be available for most people. So yeah, just hit us up and we'll go from there.
Of course. All right. Thank you.
No worries. Take care, man. Have a good one.